What an honor it is to be back here tonight and share my story. Thank you, Sarah, Kelly, and Billy for inviting me. It will always be a privilege to represent the Boys and Girls Club of Lawrence. My name is Rosa Reynoso, and I've been a club kid ever since I joined at 10 years old. I was born in a rural part of the Dominican Republic in a small city named Cotuí, where my father, my mother, my sister, and I came to the States to another part of the Dominican Republic known as Lawrence, Massachusetts. My family and I, just like the Germans, the Italians, the French, the Polish, and the countless immigrants who came before us, came to Lawrence for opportunity. We left everything behind, knowing very well that our sacrifice was not going to get any easier. The story of the American dream is often one of resilience, hard work, and dedication. But often neglected is the story of the child that was lonely, ashamed, and lost. Growing up, I remember my world feeling so small. My father, once an engineer in our home country, was and still is a pizza delivery driver. My mom, who has worked every single day since she got here, mostly in factory settings, worked packaging boxes and containers, and when that company left overseas, came razors and soaps. I remember waking up my younger brother in the morning, laying out his school clothes, brushing his teeth, reviewing his homework, and making sure he got to school on time. And then running to school so I wouldn't get detention for tardiness again. I remember my mom pulling me out of class because she needed me to be her translator for any appointments she had. And I remember going to bed at night where my sister, my brother, and I shared a bedroom, a queen bed and a twin bed smushed together to give some semblance of order, and sharing that bedroom until I was a sophomore in high school. What I remember most, especially as a child, was always hoping and always praying that life would get easier. When you grow up in poverty, it feels like you're constantly treading water, and all you see is the horizon and the ocean. The theme of surviving plagues my childhood memories today. Like many kids in Lawrence, my parents signed me up for the Boys and Girls Club. Looking back, it was easily the best $30 my mother could have ever spent. It doesn't take long to realize what a special place the club is. The homework room quickly became my haven. Although my parents weren't equipped to help me with my schoolwork, Karen, Jody, John, Kim, and Lou, and the countless other tutors and mentors helped me navigate everything, from algebra to my college essay. They taught me that there'll be many times where I will be the only in a room, the only poor kid, the only girl, the only person of color. And even today, when it feels like I'm stepping into a world that wasn't made for me, they taught me that my presence not only was long overdue, but earned. The club was one of the few places growing up where I didn't feel any shame. All us kids, like clockwork, would line up for supper each night. The long cafeteria tables become our dining room tables each night. And no one batted an eye if you peeked behind the kitchen for a second plate. I still remember Karen gently interrupting my tutor sessions to make sure I got a meal. My apologies, I'm missing a page. Here it is. Even as a kid, I knew my family relied heavily on the supper program. And if I'm being transparent, I don't know what my family would have done without it. What a relief my mother must have felt, knowing that their child was going to consistently get a warm meal every night. With the help of the club, I was able to attend Central Catholic High School through the Montagna Scholars Program, a school which at the time had a tuition well over half of my family's yearly income. And aside from the college prep, the extracurriculars, the friends, the mentorship the club enriched me with, it's a special thing to have a community, to have a place you can turn to, a place you can be your most authentic self, a place where there is no shame, no dream too big, a constant when your life feels so unstable. And that community was there for me, especially during my sophomore year of high school. 2 weeks before Christmas, my family and I lost our home in a fire. The level of devastation was just indescribable. We lost everything. Not a single item could have been recovered from the home. We had to start over. I remember the Red Cross relocating us in a nearby hotel, and they gave us 3 days to get situated before we were responsible for housing. Manny, Jody, and all the staff made it their mission to make sure we wouldn't end up on the streets. From food to clothing to rent deposits, my family and I rung in the new year in a new apartment because of the club. And I'll never forget how in a moment that was so paralyzing, where I felt so broken and so hopeless, there was the club, helping us pick up the pieces no matter how long it would take. I graduated from Central Catholic in 2016, where I received the Brother Florentius Award, the highest award a graduate can receive. I still remember Chris Sullivan sneaking Karen into the gymnasium that night. After Central Catholic, I attended Worcester Polytechnic Institute, where I thrived. I traveled to Cuenca, Ecuador, multiple times to increase water security through the design and construction of a rainwater harvesting system. I went to Rabat, Morocco, where I studied feminism and Islam. I worked with students across cultures in Bangkok, Thailand, where I worked with locals to address deforestation and the degradation of local water sources. I completed my senior project in Chevi, Ghana, and worked with artisanal gold miners by co-designing a device to reduce mercury exposure during the small-scale gold mining process. I got internships at Pratt & Whitney and did microfluidic research at Princeton University. And yes, I graduated after all of that with high distinction with a degree in mechanical engineering. Once I graduated from WPI, I joined GE Aerospace's Edison Engineering Development Program, one of their oldest early career development programs in Lynn, Massachusetts. As part of the program, I completed an intense advanced course in engineering and worked in multiple rotational assignments in life and mission analysis, mechanical systems design, and test engineering. And because undergrad was not enough, through GE, I will be graduating this spring with a master's degree in mechanical engineering from Boston University. And as I reflect on a place that was so instrumental during my upbringing, a place that continues to raise generations of kids, many with stories like my own, I know it wouldn't be possible without you all here tonight. There are no words to describe the level of gratitude I have for you all, for keeping the club doors open, for believing in the kids in our city, and for supporting such a special place. There's virtually nothing impossible if you're willing to pay the price and you have the support of so many wonderful people. So thank you for not only allowing me to share my story tonight, but for continuing to be so generous and so selfless. I would not be here without you. Have a great night.